Hi guys, so I'm gonna just go ahead and start with the questions. So number one, what is your biggest takeaway from the Rogers readings and person-centered counseling? I think that um, what the big takeaway for me was that how strong relationships um, are looked at in person-centered therapy. So seeing as they are needed for change to occur, I think that that's one of the big takeaways I had from this. And one of those things relating to relationships and creating a strong rapport with clients is practicing unconditional positive regard. So that is one of the biggest takeaways because I think it is definitely one of those things that I'm going to be using in the future. I know that's kind of going into the second question. But also, one of my takeaways from the videos was that he never answered Gloria's questions, and I think he did so because he wanted to act as a guide and not really an advisor. He didn't want to, and we've talked about this in one of my classes before, is that as therapists, as counselors, it's our job to help guide them towards conclusions and answers that they find themselves that best suit who they are and where they're trying to go, not necessarily tell them. So I think that Gloria got frustrated in the beginning, and she definitely showed that she did because she said, I want you to just tell me what to do with my daughter, tell me what I should do, tell me what I should say. And Rogers never really gave her that, and he kind of just kept restating what she was telling her, and eventually she found her own answers. So I think that was another takeaway. Number two, how will you use this theory in your future work with clients? Again, I kind of touched upon that with unconditional positive regard. I think unconditional positive regard really encompasses who we are, who we should be as counselors and therapists. We should really see our clients, no matter what they've done, who they are, the things that they're trying to achieve. I really think we're looking at them from an objective standpoint. So they're telling us all these things, and we should be helping them find a mindset that is healthy for them. And we should really just look at them not with conditions. We should really just see them as people and help normalize situations that they may be going through. Also, in addition to that, I think I'll be asking myself those 3 questions that Rogers had asked himself. So, can I be real in this relationship? Will I find myself caring for this person? And will I be able to understand the individual's inner world? And the reason that I think that I'll be utilizing this practice and asking myself those questions is because knowing myself and knowing who I want to be as a therapist, I want to immerse myself fully into my client, their story, their life, to get a better and deeper understanding of who they are. I think that is and can be the very beginning of having a strong relationship with a client and building the rapport and basically setting up that whole environment for them to feel safe and connected with the therapist. Number 3, what in the Gloria tapes did you notice was especially consistent with person-centered counseling? Again, unconditional positive regard throughout the entire session. Her talking about her family, her talking about her sexual relations, her talking about how she wants to be a good mother. I think those are all sensitive subjects, and I think that Rogers showed that no matter how she saw herself, he saw her as a person, and again tried to normalize those feelings that she was having, and in connection with the relationship, he also had mentioned at the very end that he felt close to her. I think that this is consistent with person-centered therapy for the therapist to really explain how they're feeling at that present moment with the client. And I think I'm still kind of trying to establish where that line would be for me, because I'm not sure I would go as far as telling someone how I feel about them, especially a client. But I definitely saw that as a consistency with person-centered counseling in the Gloria tapes. The last one, 1, 2, 3, 4. So question number 4, do you believe the core conditions are necessary and are sufficient for change? So I think that they're necessary in order to form movement towards constructive personality change. I don't think that they're sufficient, and the only reason being is because I think saying something is sufficient is a very blanket, broad statement. What works for one person doesn't work for another person, and that's true of any method or tool you're utilizing in therapy. That's why we have to be so versatile and have to have a good understanding of all these methods that we can use to help clients, because one thing that works for one person doesn't work for another. So in saying that, these 6 conditions that Rogers has here are all that are needed to create movement towards change. I think that that's not true. I think that there are some cases, and I'm sure many counselors have come across them, in which they need more than those 6 conditions in order for their clients to help sustain what they're learning in therapy. So again, necessary to form movement towards change, but it's not sufficient. I'm excited to see what you guys think, and I'm excited to hear from you guys.